I want to have sex with this person for the rest of my life. If you're married, sex for the rest of your life with this one person. But if I'm only having sex with this one person, I never tried it. So it's like if I were to get a car and I were to drive it and I would have never have pre-rode the car before I went. I would have never done it for a test drive. Yeah, no one's ever. So then why would I not test drive the car?
Because it sounds like you're here for sex, you're here for money. And it just doesn't.
The reason why it's hard is because it's good.
Yeah.
Anything that's hard is good.
It's not supposed to be transactional, but I think transformational.
It's like, because you don't have an option.
Yeah, like we have to figure this out.
We have to figure this out. I will change. You will change.
Yeah.
We will change.
Yeah. In regular world relationship, I'm not changing the second I don't think you're attractive or you're annoying me. I'm just going to leave.
Yep.
And we're back. Welcome back to the Bottom Line Podcast.
With the Baldovino.
With the Baldovinos.
Yes. And we got Gabriel again, the other brother.
True.
He's back. He's consistently here now.
Still here.
Okay, but anyways, what do we got for today, Elijah?
Okay. Well, today we're gonna start this episode off with a draft. Get the
juices flowing.
The juices flowing. Get the ball rolling. Get us feeling nice. We're gonna do places to no
state draft.
We're gonna do a state draft. It's not places to live. It's you're conquering this land. This is my land.
Yeah.
Okay. We're drafting states. Okay.
Okay, who's up first?
Last time I went last, and you guys just stole the good ones. So like,
You go first.
I'm gonna take.
And then I'll be second.
Okay, so define it again. So we're picking the state that we want to.
It's just a state. It's your state.
It's your
Okay.
state. This is yours.
And no one else can have it.
Okay.
No one else can have
It's
it.
a state
Whether your motive is finances, politics, places, views, nice views. Maybe you like the sand. Maybe you like to hike. Okay.
You're up
Whatever.
first.
I'm taking. Oh, I can't take that. I'm not into that. I'm gonna take Florida.
Okay.
I really like Florida.
Okay, I'm going to go state draft.
It's only 4 of us. This is not going to be hard.
It's tough. I'm going to go not to live because I would never live there, but it's for what it is. It's the best state, California.
It's true.
Liberal.
Maybe I'll take, just because I was there for so long, I do like it, Hawaii. It's a beautiful state.
Would you want to actually live there?
If I get to own it, it's mine.
The old,
I do what I want. with it.
the old head's just thinking about
it's
politics.
More expensive, and you're always flying.
It's the most beautiful state. I don't even know if you consider it America because it doesn't look like America.
Yeah,
It
is.
nice.
It's beautiful.
You're up.
So
But the
nice.
prices are high. The politics are bad.
So anyone take you? Who took
Your
Florida?
turn. I took Florida.
Florida. You took California. You took
Mine's
Hawaii.
the perfect mix here.
I
Okay,
think
it's Republican. It's next to the beach.
Yeah.
It's got palm trees.
Yeah, I think I have to take Texas
Trump.
then.
I was gonna take that one.
I was gonna take Texas.
Oh,
Okay, you're up, bro.
man. Crap. Oh, that's too democratic. I can't do that. There's actually so many like that. I can't do
No,
that.
Democrats have some good ones, honestly.
They do. They have all the good ones. I can't lie. They have all like the good views and stuff.
They do.
I'm actually gonna take still Democratic. I'm gonna
You can go Democrat because your first one was
yeah.
Republican.
I'm gonna go Colorado.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, I
a mix.
got California. You have Florida, Colorado. You
Texas.
have Texas, and you have Hawaii. I'm gonna go South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Kind of a sleeper pick because it's still Republican, but it's real close to Florida. Has
funny.
some of the same stuff as Florida.
I was actually gonna say North Carolina. I think it's the
No.
prettier of the Carolinas.
I think they're
And-
both really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought, none of you guys take North Dakota yet? Man,
You or South Dakota?
Dude, South Dakota has Mount Rushmore.
I think I'm gonna take Washington D.C.
Wait, that's not even a state.
I know, but the whole area.
So you're taking the 51st state?
It's the 50th.
He made it a state.
Yep,
Come
it's
on.
mine.
He owns
And
it.
if I own the White House, I own America.
And he can make a 50%.
Frick.
I'm taking the
So-
Gulf of Mexico.
No,
America? You
Gulf
mean?
of America.
Okay. Let's go to the next topic here. I got a wild one for you guys. This one's kind of a hot topic in debates and stuff that I've seen. Is should you get married young? If you do get married young, should you just wait till your career takes off? Or should you even get married at all? And I actually want to show you guys a clip before we even get into this topic.
Name one benefit that a man gets from a marriage that he wouldn't get in a regular relationship.
Just one.
I think a lot of men who choose to get married are incentivized by the fact that they are able to claim that woman as theirs. And
No, but name one benefit that they would get in a marriage that they wouldn't get in a regular
well,
relationship.
I think even though it's not 100%, there's peace of mind that that woman is not is
The
going to
answer
be
is
loyal
there's
to
none.
you.
The answer is there's none. You're
Well-
dancing around it. There is none. So my thing is this. I think it's in a man's best interest to stay Peter Pan, as you would say. And I think women shame men because men gain their value in their 40s. Men understand the sexual marketplace better. They understand that women have no leverage in their 40s. And they date down and they get younger, more attractive girls. And that's the best way to go in today's day and age where we live in a deregulated sexual marketplace where women could take everything they got, take their kids, etc. Why would a guy want to commit to women nowadays when, honestly, we got inflation?
I think it's also setting a good example to children that you have a family nucleus. And I think there's something to be said about that.
Well, you can do that without the state getting involved in
You
getting
know
married.
what? I think
Name one benefit that
Okay, so that was the clip. So this is actually a really common, I would say, like
Perspective.
mindset, especially with the like Andrew Tate crowd, worldly
It's the
crowd.
same crowd.
It's the same crowd that thinks like, okay, I'm just gonna sleep around with 20 different girls, make a ton of money.
they're thinking
And-
about a body count more than anything.
Yes. And that was actually one of the first time I've seen like one of these debates that I actually agreed with the girl. Like usually it's the girls that are saying the interesting takes. But yeah, that guy was just being dumb, honestly, in my opinion. But I can go into more opinions and like even what the Bible says about it, but I want to hear what you guys have to say first. Should you get married young or should you wait till your career's taken off and should you even get married in the first
Maybe
place?
what are the benefits of being
Yeah.
married like this clip? I think there is, like, obviously I'm married young. 22, I got married.
We all are, except Elijah.
Elijah's going to get married in July.
But he'll be
June.
the youngest.
In a couple months.
Yeah, you'll be the
yeah,
youngest
that's
to be married.
actually true. Wow.
Dad actually was probably the
I
youngest.
beat you
Actually,
all
he got married at
at
19. But we all got married young. I think there's a lot of benefit to getting married young. I mean, obviously, we're Christians. We believe in not having sex until marriage. There's that. But also, I think there is something to be said about growing with someone in marriage. Marriage is a covenant. You actually enter in with someone where you become one flesh, like it says in Genesis 2. And I think as you become one, you actually, if you get married young, you get to grow with them. You don't just like, you're getting married and then you're like grow later. You actually get to grow with them as they're going. And then also in marriage, you are a father. And I think if you're not married and you have children and you're still their father, it is just so much like less likely of being a good home on top of that. Like, and not like, there's not that marriage. But,
Yeah.
So my take on this is it's neither right or wrong if people get married older versus younger and vice versa. Now, the current trend is that men are getting married at when they turn 30 years old.
Yeah.
Or they're just not even getting married.
Or they're not getting married. But I'm saying when they do get married, the average age is 30 years old.
Yeah.
Is
So-
that true?
Yeah, it's a fact.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a stat.
So, and I like what Gabriel said because when you're getting married young, what happens is you're molding yourself to them and everything actually becomes one. So we're talking about your money. We're talking about your sex life. We're talking about how you think, your perspective on life, your worldviews, the things you're going to go after. And if you get married when you're older, those things have already been put in place and you kind of have to take a step back and you have to lay some of those things down and become one with them in all those areas.
Like you're almost saying like it's like can't like the phrase like can't teach an old dog new tricks. Like
A
it's
little
just
bit.
harder.
Yeah, it's much harder because you are set in your ways a little bit, not
Yeah.
fully,
Yeah.
but you've already got 10 years under your belt for the most part where your money is a certain way, you think about money a certain way, you have certain goals, and the girl is not a part of it.
Yeah.
And so if you do it when you're young, just when you're getting started, then you can actually mold it and put those plans together early. Now, the biggest resistance that I find to guys getting married young or girls getting married young is, for the most part, the parents.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I would say early on, this was, probably in the 80s and 90s, this was a big deal when college education was the number one goal for every kid. It was kind of assumed that you were going to go to college, go to university. That's your first thing. And the question was, like, what are you going to do for your life? The question was, where are you going to go to school?
Yeah.
That was the thing. And you are not, it was kind of set in stone that you were not going to get married until you had a college degree. Then you were going to enter into marriage with college debt and then make your plans. That was the thing. And that's still a lot of the case now still. And so I just go back. It's better to even do it when you're young, because then even those plans of why I would even go to college, it can be made with my spouse. Even if we're young, we're going to get into debt anyways. If you're going to do that, you might as well do it together. So the happiest people in the world are married people, statistically, with children. So I just don't. Yeah, they are. They're happier because they're not like in chaos. I got to go on another date and I got to.
When you have purpose every day.
Right. And so those are some of my thoughts. Finishing education. If you so choose to do that later on, great. But if you have the girl or have the guy right now, why are you waiting for?
Yeah.
I think just get some ducks in a row just to get married, and then you can continue on in college education. That's going to wait for you if you really want to do that.
Yeah.
Or you go another direction that you and your spouse decide to go on.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
Okay, so this is kind of something that my perspective on this is, because I understand that there's Christian guys who think like this and non-Christian guys who think like this. I'm not going to cater to either one. I'm just going to say what I believe in, what I think the Bible talks about. Is this guy, when he's talking about what are the benefits? Even like, what are the benefits?
Like, why would I?
Why would I do this? What's the benefits to getting married versus not getting married? I can do this, and this anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I think even that framework is a wrong framework to begin with, because then you're only looking out for somebody to benefit you, and you're not serving. Where Jesus did the thing Jesus did, because I'm not catering to a Christian who wants to have sex anyway, or a non-Christian. Jesus came to serve, not to be served, is what he said. I came to serve, basically. Yeah. And I think that is one of the main jobs as a guy. So I think when you have the framework in your head of even how does this benefit me, you're going to have a trash relationship anyway. Any relationship you ever have, if you're just looking for hey, how does this benefit me, you're going to have a trash relationship. It literally makes it so transactional. If that's what you want in your relationship, is this transaction between sex or money, whether, my value's high because I'm an old guy and I have money, and women are attracted to a guy who's done more things in their life, and I'm attracted to this girl with a low body count that I find attractive. It's retarded to me. It's so transactional. It doesn't sound like it even is enjoyable to me. Like I don't really get the attraction towards that anyway, because it sounds like you're here for sex, you're here for money, and it just doesn't. Right. So all I'm saying is I think the framework has to change, and I'm here to serve the person I'm in relationship with. And once you get that framework, I think you would have a better desire to get married for sure.
Yeah. That's good. I like those points. Well, I'm going to bring in just a couple of Bible verses I actually want to share about this. So one that I feel like a lot of people actually don't talk about, they usually talk about it in terms of like spiritual or like leading, but 1 Timothy 4:12, let no one despise you for your youth, but set the believers an example in speech and conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. And so you could even put the part where he's talking about in love, like set your relationships as an example when you're young. Another Bible verse is Proverbs 18:22. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. So even like that guy was saying in the video, like, just because I'm married, I already have more favor than you. Like it says right there in the Bible, he who finds a wife has favor. Another thing that I think Because he was even talking about the Peter Pan syndrome, how like a lot of girls call guys Peter Pan for not getting married. It is honestly a Peter Pan syndrome, but also what doesn't make sense to me that's a little backwards with the whole toxic masculinity thing. Like they'll be like, oh, like carry the boats. Like what's that guy's name?
David Goggins.
Like they'll be like, oh, carry the boats. Like do these hard things. And then they'll be like, oh, I don't want to get married because it's hard. It's kind of backwards. Like it doesn't really make sense. It's like, yeah, the reason why it's hard is because it's good.
Yeah.
Anything that's hard is good.
It's not supposed to be transactional, but I think transformational.
Yes.
It's supposed to transform your life. How could not being with one person your whole entire life, growing with them, not transform you?
Yeah.
And especially if your relationship is founded on honoring God, then that will like transform you forever. But if it's transactional, I give you this, you give me this. And if a man's like only duty is to provide money and then her only duty is to provide children, and that's your transaction. I give money, you give me children.
Literally, man.
I have money, you get baby. I leave, not married. It's like, what is this transaction?
And another thing I think about it like this is marriage is actually the only relationship. Like think about it like this: your vows, okay? The thing that differentiates marriage vows from other relationship vows is I will never leave you under any circumstance through thick and thin.
Yeah.
That actually is just pressure. Like marriage is just like pressure. Like, oh, we're going to get in an argument about something, but the boundary is we still can't leave each other. Like that's pressure, you know? And that's what makes marriage interesting. It's like,
because you don't have an option.
yeah, like we have to
change.
figure this
We
out.
have to figure this out. I will change. You will change.
Yeah.
We will change.
Yeah. In regular world relationship, I'm not changing the second I don't think you're attractive or
I'm
you're
out.
annoying me. I'm just going to leave.
Yep.
That's a coward. That's not a man. You're just being selfish and leaving.
Yeah. Also, I think there's this backwards thinking where these guys are like, I'm going to do it alone and I'm going to get wealthy alone. I put away the distraction. But actually, I think I would even argue that you can get far more wealthy and
There's even stats about
you can get further in life. And there's a reason. I don't agree with the way of some of the ways that the government does divorce and all that.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not going to go into that though. But I think you can get further financially by far if you have a wife.
And
Literally, the
kids.
name
Well, actually-
one of the names in the Bible is helper for a woman, and one of the reasons they're created. I think you can get way further with a woman.
Statistically, the first year of marriage, a man makes $50,000 more in his first year of marriage.
And that's the man. That's not their incomes included.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if she works or she doesn't work, I'm not even
That's just
speaking
the
into
stat.
that. But another point of why someone should get married young is Paul said in the Bible that it's better to get married than to burn with passion. And instead of cohabitating, go lay down your life for a woman and vice versa so that you can actually build a life. Because most of the time you're burning with passion and you're going to
Mess up.
do things you're going to regret, have pain, have all sorts of things. In the secular world, they're putting body count as a bragging in bragging terms, but it's not bragging at all. You're actually losing a piece of you every single time you're doing that. So you're actually in every way you actually are putting yourself down, even in your self-worth, by doing that. So getting married young, having sex young with your wife, why not? Why do you have to wait till you're 30 years old? You can do that when you're 20 and have all the fun, guilt-free. So I say get married young in every way.
I think that moves us on to a good segue to a point I wanted to make. So a popular thing that many young men say, especially when looking to get married, is
Christian and
non-Christian. They want to find a girl. They want to see if this is the right girl, as you should. You want to see this is the person I want to be with the rest of my life. But with that, there is that point of sex. I want to have sex with this person for the rest of my life. If you're married, sex for the rest of your life with this one person. But if I'm only having sex with this one person, I never tried it. So it's like if I were to get a car and I were to drive it and I would have never have pre-rode the car before I went. I would have never done it for a test drive.
Nobody's taught you or anything.
Yeah, no one's ever. So then why would I not test drive the car I'm going to have? But this is even more of a thing for the rest of my life. So I think I want to talk about this question and what is your guys' approach to this? Like, what maybe are some answers that the Bible gives, and what things maybe can we even back up with some science of what should we do about this question?
So you're saying, should we have sex before marriage, essentially?
Essentially, like, what if I want to have sex with someone?
Like a
What if you're
drive?
even
I'm
if
looking
you're
for a
even
spouse.
strongly dating someone?
Yeah.
Because I've had this before.
Or even engaged?
Or even engaged. I should take that for a test drive and see if I like it.
Or I'm already gonna like get married anyways. I'm gonna get married, like I'm engaged. Elijah's engaged. Why not have sex anyways? You're gonna marry her in a few months. Why not anyways?
And you've had guys ask you this.
I've had guys ask me that.
Yeah.
So my answer is like, in every single way, you're hurting yourself. But let me go back to this point, and I'll just put this as a foundation because I think it's important. When you're having sex, it's body, soul, and spirit. It is not just your physical body. What we hear online, even on TV or movies,
Body count.
it's a body count. But you're not interweaving the most important part, which is your soul, your memory, your conscious. All that stuff is actually being played, and also your spirit being. And the Bible says that when you have sex, you're becoming one with them in spirit. And so why is that so important? Because people think that sex is just the transaction of your body, but it's not. It's your whole person. Everything is attached. So there was a buddy of mine. He actually told me this about a year ago. He called me because he felt so bad. He felt so guilty. And he was a new Christian. And so he was drinking with a buddy. And while he was drinking, he fully got drunk. And so he barely even remembered going to his buddy's apartment. But he wakes up next to a girl that he doesn't even remember her. He doesn't know her name. He doesn't remember anything about the night. But he had sex with her. They were both naked.
Okay.
So he was calling me because he felt so, like he's crying. He felt so guilty, so much shame. And he goes, but I just don't remember anything. So his physical body was there, but what he was actually telling me was his spirit felt the shame and the guilt, not his physical body. Okay?
Yeah.
His spirit being was feeling the guilt and the shame. So when we think about sex, we got to think about it as a holistic person. You're becoming one with that person. And I think women attach themselves way more than a man does. But I believe that a man is leaving behind a piece of themselves. And the greater the body count, the more pieces of himself he's actually dispersing and giving away to people that he'll never know, he'll never talk to. He's actually ruining himself. And their sex life actually ruins. They think it's getting better because they know how to do it, or they know, how to perform better, but it's actually not performing better. You perform better when two become one, and you can serve that other person better over and over and over again.
And you know what they like, you know what they don't like.
Right. You're
If
serving
the
them
random
properly.
person, you know nothing.
Nothing.
Actually, there's some science to this. There is actually the human body releases powerful hormones in the brains of men and women during sexual activity, and they're neurohormones called oxytocin and vasopressin. So these two hormones actually are released during sex. Okay, so that I actually read a statistic. It is so much harder for a breakup to occur when sex has happened, because there's actually, when these hormones happen, it actually attaches you to this person. And it's created for this. Sex actually has this. So that's why sex becomes addictive. That's why pornography is so addictive, because of these chemicals that are released inside of a human's body every time sexual activity occurs. That is scary outside of the boundaries of marriage. But I think inside the boundaries of marriage, where God created and intended sex, it's actually an amazing blessing.
Right.
Because it actually attaches you, it connects you. Because there's actually emotional attachment. There is hormonal attachment in these neurohormones, but then there's also connection and addiction in a way. You become addicted to this person because of this. So I think that actually really helps show, man, God created this. And I think you were just talking about the two becoming one. So that's how we were created. That was our original design in Genesis too. But Paul actually talks more about this in 1 Corinthians 6. He basically talks about the two becoming one, but in a different way. He says, do you not know that he who unites himself with a prostitute is one with her in body? For it is said, the two become one flesh. But whoever is united with the Lord is one with him in spirit. Flee from sexual immorality. So even if you were to actually go and be with a prostitute, you actually become one with that prostitute. You two become one. I think it's talking physically, spiritually, emotionally, and even hormonally. So
It's
what do you
so
guys
scary.
think?
So scary. And that's why I think even all sexual sins, God holds them at a
Well, he says in the Bible he
at
does.
he does at a greater level, because they're not just affecting us, even those three parts who we're talking about, but it's also affecting my relationship with God.
Yeah.
Just what you just said. So it's a serious thing. I think it's a fear of God thing. But it's also, if you think about this properly, man, it's such a beautiful thing in marriage.
Yeah. And I even want to bring it back to because I've heard the test drive thing before.
Yeah.
And like how I would go after that test drive mindset is, okay, first of all, when I go test drive a car, I'm going to test drive that car. But in the beginning, like of even test driving, I'm not committing to this car for 45 years. Like, I'm going to go trade this car in 7 years. Okay. So first of all, the test drive thing doesn't work for marriage.
Also,
doesn't
you're
work.
questioning if you're gonna buy it or not.
Yes. Like,
But you can't. You're not questioning if you're buying it or not.
The whole preface of like the test drive mindset thing is just wrong to start with. And then like once you've test driven, say you don't like it, then you're just not committed. Like you're also putting sex as an object when you do that. Sex is an object. The person is an object. The second they get a little bit of annoying or too expensive for the object, I'm out. It's almost the same thing with the last topic. It's like objectifying sex and the woman instead of, oh, how can I grow more with this person? How can I get to know this person better? So that's how I would go after the test driving thing.
Also, it's so funny. People are like, are we compatible? If you got part A and she got part B, bro, you're compatible, bro. I'm telling you. They ain't gonna. This has been done like billions of times. We know this math like addition works, bro. I'm telling you, it's gonna work. So you're wondering if it's compatible? It's gonna. And if you're wondering, is it gonna be great to start? You have both virgins? Nah. It's gonna get better, I swear.
And that's actually the cool part. Like after like a few months, you like realize, wow, I was trash. Like,
dang, that was really bad.
I thought I was good.
Dang, was I good?
and it's
bro.
just like any other skill. Like you get better. Like I've heard people say that too, and it's like, but what if they're like a virgin and they don't know what they're doing? They're not gonna. It's gonna suck. But that's the point. You like just like learning anything else. You get better at it and
Also,
you grow.
what a cool thing to be able to grow in together.
Yeah.
Like, rather than be like, I gotta be good. I gotta have just like done it so many times and I'm like, good. What if you're just like suck and then she's like not as good and then you just be like, yo, I like this. You like this? Cool. And you like grow in this relationship
way
together
better.
in intimacy. Sounds like a way better thing, actually, rather than be like, dang, you slept with like that many people. No shame if you have. I think there's a lot of redemption in having a past and having sex. I think God really does wipe it. You can be changed forever. But there still is wanting to actually be changed and new and renew your mind. So,
Yeah.
Boom.
all right, guys. I wanted to present one more question. This question is,
Drum roll, please.
do soulmates exist? Is there a one? And if there is a one, how do I know she's the one for me?
When you do find the one.
When you do find the one that exists and she's my soulmate, how do I know? Does my soul know? Is there love at first sight? All these questions and more. No, actually, what?
Okay. I feel like you got this first.
No, of course not. There is no such thing as the soul. I mean, the movies are nice. They're fun.
Fairy tale.
Yeah, they are not realistic. But there's no such thing. God did not intend, if you think about it, out of the whole world with 7 billion people, there's going to be the one, and you're going to go and find that one. It's ridiculous.
But even in Christian culture, they kind of change it to like God has one person destined for
Like,
me,
you're my
and they just
husband or
change
my
it
wife.
from soulmate. And I do think God tells people that on a rare occasion, yeah, you're
Like,
gonna
you'll get
marry
married
this
that
one,
person.
yes. But I don't think in the norm it's a it's a soulmate situation. Because I think it takes way too much intentionality to be like, to get a girl and go through the process of getting a girl, and then even sometimes getting rejected and then getting her back and stuff like that, just to be like, imagine at any one of those points where it got difficult, it's like, maybe you're not the one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe you're not the one.
Or let's say you're married and then it's like, wait, but what if she's not the one? You know?
Or what if you test drive and then it's like, dude, that wasn't that fun. Maybe you're not the one. You know what I mean? So it's that, but there's so many reasons why it just doesn't make sense. And even in Proverbs, it says, was it a worthy? I want to quote it right.
He finds a wife. What?
No. It's a word.
Are you talking about Proverbs 30? It's
31.
A woman of noble character who can find.
A woman
You
of noble
seek her out
character
like
who can
rubies.
find. That means you have to find it. It takes intentionality. And I don't think you hear these sayings a lot, especially in Christian culture, where it's like, oh my gosh, my man is just gonna come on my doorstep. I'm just waiting.
Well, also some people I think look for like I'm trying to find my other half. I even think that is weird verbiage because it's like you're almost talking about yourself like you're like half of a person trying to find the other half of a person, and then you'll be a complete person once I find my other half, and you found the other half that just fits me. It's actually like you don't want to be a half a person trying to get into a marriage. You want to be a whole person trying to find another whole person, seeking after a whole person, and then you're actually going to like pursue this together, not a half and be like, you're completing me. I think even the idea of completion is not for this person.
In what points also when you're sitting there, and I've seen girls in relationship where they're just like, I just don't feel peace about like being with this guy right now. Like, I just don't know if he's the one that God has for me. And I'm just like, okay, but like, dude didn't do anything wrong. You just like got it slightly annoyed one time.
Like, you got an ick, bro.
Yeah.
You chase a golf, like a, what is it called? A ping pong ball. And you don't
No, but it's like, what defines a soulmate? And when are you like, at what point are you questioning, like, is this a soulmate right now? Like, at what point, like, I'm like, okay, it actually, you got to take out the whole soulmate thing because it's always, you're going to always have to decide, like, to love this person.
I also think this, it's not really spoken about, but I think at the very bottom or behind the scenes of this whole idea is that they're really not working on themselves because they're looking from the outside in for someone out there magically. But what about themselves? Because you really attract who you are. And so if you really want a certain person, type of person, how they live, their lifestyle, their values, all those things, then you better have those qualities too, first.
Yeah.
And then you're going to attract that secondly. And so if you live in the fantasy world of the one and the soulmate garbage, then you're really just not becoming the person that you should be. So you attract the right person that you want.
Yeah.
Or you might put something on someone like out of expectation for where you actually should only put expectation on God to fulfill your desires, but you're putting all your desires onto a person to fulfill you when it's actually not this person's duty to give that. It's actually not for this person to offer security in all of these instances, where it actually should be God who is the one who you're seeking first. And so I also think if you're not prepared in singleness, I actually think singleness is not just something that is like something you have to get to, but actually something that is actually a gift. Paul actually describes singleness as a gift in 1 Corinthians, I think 7. He talks about how he's like, I wish you all were like me. And it's like, what is he? He's single. So he's saying, I wish you all were like me because it's actually a good thing because you can have single-minded devotion towards Christ. So actually in singleness, there actually is a time to prepare yourself, and it's actually a gift because you can prepare your heart and you can actually be singly devoted, single-minded devotion to Jesus. We're actually in a relationship. I don't think you can be a single-minded devotion because you have another one actually taking your attention. I have to provide for this person. I have to take her out. I have to go do things, which is great. God made marriage. He loves it. He actually wanted a man and a woman. He wanted there to be multiplication. But there also is a time and place for that. And I think in singleness, rather than just trying to find always people, actually just work on finding and be fully devoted to Christ, but also still seeking. If your desire is, I also think there's free will involved. I think not enough people talk about.
Actually, that Bible verse you're talking about the other day.
Proverbs 16.
Decisions.
So Proverbs 16 talks about man's heart chooses his path and God establishes his steps. So I think actually our heart, we can choose our desire. If our desire is to be married, I think God wants to give us the desires of our heart if it's in the boundaries of the Bible. And we actually gonna go and pursue that, and God will establish it. And it's our will. We have free will in who we marry. We have free will if we love God. And I think God will establish those steps if we choose to. And I think you want to do that carefully, with wisdom, with guidance. Proverbs also talks about like a city with many counselors is strong. So you actually want people outside to give
voice, ideas.
You want biblical mentorship in your life, and that actually will fortify you.
Yep. Yeah. And that actually, next week we'll be talking about, in the next episode, we'll be talking about dating. So even what you're going into about biblical mentorship and all that stuff with relationships, we'll actually hit on that in the next episode. But do you guys have any other points on this that you want to go to?
I do. Because I think I've also seen a lot of specifically girls where you'll have the life does not start till they get a man, basically.
Yeah.
And they really don't value singleness in the slightest. It's like, actually, my life sucks until this man can come into my life right now.
Just want to be married.
I just want to be married. I want to have kids. I want to have my acreage.
I've actually seen guys like this too, though.
No, but they're out there. They're all like, I've definitely seen guys where it's
more
like
women for sure.
more
It's definitely
women.
more-
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
generalizing. It's more women, but I think people should value a single season for sure.
Yeah.
But they with still the all the great points he made as well. But I think people, because you talked about like being those things that you want in a spouse. But I think people, when they sit there and I think they deep down they know that they're not all those things. So I think they have this like too much of like I don't know the exact name of the perspective. Sovereignty of God, is that what it's called?
A little bit, yeah.
It's a little bit of too much of like I'm leaving it up to him without taking any ownership or responsibility for who I am right now. Yeah. That they're just gonna put it on God. Put it on God. It's on God.
You have my soulmate.
No, it's on God. None of my spiritual life, my physical life. They're not taking responsibility for any actions in it. Actually, they're actually just being lazy, even though they actually know. Because if they actually sat there and thought about it, it would stress them out that I actually am. They don't want to look at themselves and look at the negative things that they actually are currently living like. Because I think they deep down, I think they really know that that's who they're going to end up with. So
it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that summarizes all our time together. So for sure, it would be, there's no such thing as the one. And in fact, I think there's a lot of mistakes. If you even have this thinking that if you get into a relationship that you think that was the one, and then you break up, then what happens?
Like, what the heck?
Then you have to go for the rest of your life not married
I didn't find that one.
Because the one is gone now, and they might be married. Like this is.
Then you're second guessing every decision.
Yes, it's not a good thinking. So remove this thinking, and then kind of like a recap of what we just said. Become that person in your singleness that you want to become, so you attract the right people. And enjoy that one-hearted devotion with God. Become that person, live that lifestyle out. And then if you're burning with passion, then get married.
Do you have any good books to recommend to them for singleness or dating?
Single, dating, engaged, married.
Single, dating, engaged, married,
Search.
and The Sacred Search by Gary Thomas. Both books I read have all this stuff in it, and we're actually got a lot of my advice on how to like go through every season of life and how to actually search someone out without just be like, because I had the desire too, so did all of us. We want to get married, but where do you go? And should I try to pursue? Dating sucks. But like all these thoughts that most of us have when we're like going through these different times. So those two books, great recs.
Awesome. Well, you guys have a good rest of your day. Comment down below if you believe that there's soulmates and why. If you should have sex before marriage, that'll be a hot topic. Yeah. And then what was our first one? Let me see here. Why should you get married in the first place or get married young? So if you guys have any of your takes, feel free to put them down in the comments. Like, subscribe, and share. And you guys have a good rest of your day.